well, it's a spheroid. Um, but we can already see this with other cosmic objects. So, like to say that the Earth itself is flat while everything else is round and rotates is kind of like a silly notion to me.
It's measured flat, mate. It's observed flat and it's measured flat.
I think they would tell you that what you're observing, all the spheres aren't. You're observing lights, right?
Well, no,
Yeah,
because they have
but
a particular axis, and you can tell this by the way that the way that the light reflects off of them from the sun, which we also know is a sphere. Are you telling me the sun is flat as well?
uh, it's not something you know. It's something you see, and you correlate it to be that. Now, the way you look at the sky is, I mean, actually, the way you look at the globe is exactly as if you are, as
Wait, but you just said
when
globe.
you are.
You said
No,
globe.
I haven't finished. Wait. Yeah, so the way you look at the globe is exactly like when you are looking in a mirror and you see yourself and explain yourself now because you can see yourself in the mirror. Yeah. But when you look at the sun in the sky, really, seriously, does it look like having forests? Does it look like having oceans? No. Now we look at the moon. Does it look to have forests, oceans, mountains? No, obviously not. Now, the moon does look like it has some sort of uh, not shapes, but irregularities. Yeah, like some round things. They call them craters. Yeah, but nobody has been there and actually verified that it is solid matter, yeah, like sand or earth, dirt, and that there really is a crater to that dirt of certain dimension. Nobody measured them, yeah.
Well, no, they have been measured. I don't know what you mean. And second of all, as far as
Well,
the craters,
listen.
we don't need to look at
Um,
hold on. You can see the craters on the moon just using a regular eye. You don't even need a telescope for this. But we have craters on the Earth as well that you can just like I visited one of the biggest craters on Earth in Arizona. Um,
yeah,
and so yeah, that was caused by I'm pretty sure it wasn't a flat object because it would have broken up in the atmosphere a lot more than a round object, which would have a lot more. It just doesn't make sense. And if the round objects in the universe, then you would have to say like, we're one of the strange ones where we're flat. It just doesn't make sense, right?
But what we're looking for, mate, is Earth curve measurement. Who measured it?
yeah.
Yeah, this was measured 3,000 years ago. So
Who by?
No,
uh,
no.
yeah.
Hang on.
Three
Who by?
thousand years
Hang on.
ago,
Who
this didn't
by?
exist.
Excuse me. Get.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, I'm on your side, mate. But I'm just speaking.
I know. Yeah.
Who by?
Go on.
Yeah, Aristophanes. Well, actually,
Who did it?
even before
Sorry,
that, there was one that kind of figured it out, but he didn't do an actual measurement. So yeah,
Eratosthenes didn't measure Earth curve, mate.
yeah, he
He
did.
didn't measure Earth curve.
Yeah, he did.
No, he
Well, you
didn't.
can measure the
Explain how.
curvature. You can measure the curvature of the Earth by just like put someone on a boat who has a radio and have them travel a few kilometers.
No, explain.
And well,
Sorry,
hold
sorry
on.
to interrupt. I'm not being rude. You've got off Eratosthenes. How did Eratosthenes measure Earth curve? Because I'll explain how he didn't.
Well, with a triangle.
Talk us through how he
With the
measured Earth
shadows,
curvature,
you mean?
step by step.
Yeah, so the thing
Well,
is,
it's his claim now, mate.
so the
Go
thing
on.
is, if you make, oh, hold on, if you make a triangle on a curved surface, and you can try this with a volleyball or like any other curved surface, you'll find that the angles actually add up to more than 180 degrees.
How how do
But
you make a
You don't know what a
triangle on a
triangle is, mate.
curved surface?
Oh, for God's, I can't. I'm going on mute. I can't speak.
Yeah, how do you make a triangle with curved lines or on a curved surface?
well, no, the lines are straight.
Well, curved lines obviously are not straight.
Well, no, I'm saying the lines are on a curved surface, so it's not that the lines are curved.
Yeah, so, well, how do you get straight lines on a curved surface?
Mm,
He doesn't know what a
Well,
triangle is. Mate. He doesn't know what a triangle
yeah,
Yeah,
is.
no, no, I know what a triangle is, thank you.
Define triangle. Define triangle.
A triangle is like a straight line. It's 1/2 base times height when it comes to area. And generally, what you have is 90 degrees at both of the bases. um, and well, another 90 degrees, like at the, but no,
Yeah.
well, no,
Yeah.
sorry,
Three straight lines then.
45,
Three straight lines
sorry,
with the
45,
internal angles adding up
yeah,
to
but
280
yeah, but
degrees.
the thing is, like on a curved surface, you can still have a straight line that ends up curved.
No, you can't.
You, yes, you can. What the fuck?
No.
Let's try it on a basketball.
No, no. We want to know how Earth curve was measured, mate. And you said Eratosthenes did it. Explain how.
Well, there you have it. I just did it for you.
You didn't do anything. You just mentioned the basketball and curved triangles. That's all you've done. You're not proving globe Earth was measured in any way, shape, or form. You're talking broken biscuits. And you don't know what a triangle is. Typical globe.
He's Googling, he's Googling. He'll come back with something.
Wait till we ask him what an elevation angle is.
No, I'm not Googling. I'm just tired of it. And also, my cat is going nuts. So, it's not worth it.
How come you guys don't talk about Freemasons in here? Isn't that like a kind of important part?
Because the channel's part, like, the channel's about flat Earth, so it's, like, scientifically related. I don't know how Freemasons have anything to do with it.
Well, all the guys you bring up are all Freemasons. That's what it has to do with it.
But I didn't really bring up too many guys. Like, I just don't understand, like, get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying?
Shadows and sticks.
But
Oh
wait,
dear, oh dear.
Tios, isn't there something at play there though? Because like all the Freemasons are like perpetuating the ball.
So how did it end up with him? Because I was driving, I couldn't hear the rest of it.
I think he got
He's
kicked.
he doesn't know what a triangle is. He doesn't know what a triangle is. He can't talk us through
Oh.
Eratosthenes not measuring the curve, and how it's a presupposition. And he's got nothing really, mate. No evidence of Earth curve measurement, drop over distance. Can't explain it. Can't talk us through it.
He's been here
Got
before.
nothing to present.
I don't know why he tries.
He's got nothing to present or demonstrate to us to prove his claim that we can't debunk.
Yeah, you know what's funny? Because Eratosthenes assumed that the sun was a collimated light source. So the problem with this is when you look at the sun in the daytime, you see it the size of a coin. Yeah, let's say between 2 and 3 centimeters. Now, if that size light source would be a collimated light source, that means that no matter how far the distance from it, the light it shines will have that same diameter. So only on Earth we will have a dot of 2 or 3 centimeters diameter being illuminated by the sun. And everywhere else there will be night. So when you invoke actually collimated light, what they are actually saying is that the sun really is the size that we really see it in the sky. No bigger, no smaller. That's what it is. You know, it's the size of a hole in pants.
I said the sun is not a sphere.
Uh, Most likely not. It's a light source. Nobody ever verified that the sun is spherical.
It looks spherical because parallax, right?
I
Is that
know when we look with filters at the sun, yeah. So we reduce vast majority of its light. Yeah, it looks like it's round, a sphere, but that doesn't mean it's actually that shape. You see, even the light bulb in my room
Looks like a disc. I think it's a disc,
looks,
really. Like a circular
yeah,
disc. It doesn't matter anyway what it looks like. And
yeah.
what them lights are in the sky. I mean, obviously, somebody's measured the Earth somehow. But who was it? When did they do it? What equipment did they use? Nobody can provide this evidence. Must be documented somewhere. Eratosthenes didn't measure Earth curve. We can describe how he didn't. Al-Biruni didn't measure Earth curve. Who measured the Earth curve?
Oh yeah. How did
How did he do
Al-Biruni
it?
saw? How did Al-Biruni saw the shore of the sea, the mountain, 600 kilometers far away, or from the shore of the sea, he saw the tip of the mountain and the base of the mountain, 600 kilometers far away. That's insane.
Why the hell are we talking about two presupposed people 2,000 years
Yeah,
ago?
yeah.
How is it measured now? Who measures it now? Who checks the circumference now?
Well, now we have optical linear encoders, most precise measuring instruments, and these instruments tell us that, yeah, we live on a plane, flat. So all surface of water, yeah, they really are super flat, the flattest surfaces out there.
What was the second guy who, after, yeah, I haven't heard that guy's name. The guy who's seen the water or whatever you're talking about?
The water, which water?
Yeah, you guys said Aristotle and then another guy, right?
Oh, Eratosthenes and Al-Biruni.
Al-Biruni. Yeah, I never heard of
Yeah,
that guy.
yeah.
It,
His story is also
it
very nice
started
to
off.
read.
It started off with Pythagoras. He presumed that the
Yeah,
moon was spherical, so he determined that if the moon's spherical, then the Earth must be spherical.
yeah,
So then Eratosthenes went off, and all Eratosthenes had in his mind was, if the Earth is a sphere, how could I measure or presuppose a circumference? So he claimed to do some angle measuring tactics using shadows and sticks, and a known distance between a light source or a GP of the sun, and the distance away from that was
be
7.2
right back.
degrees. Then what he did, he said to himself, well, I've got 7.2 degrees, 500 stadia away. So if the Earth is a sphere, I don't know it is, but if it was, I could say to myself, this 7.2 degrees now is being caused because it's spherical. So I'll divide that into 360 degrees, presupposing the sphere. And that gave him 50. And then he times that 50 by the distance between the GP and his 7.2 degree angle, which gave him 25,000, which is where he approximately did then deduce that if the Earth was a sphere, I can do these mathematical equations and just presuppose that it's going to be around 25,000 miles circumference. And that's how he did it. It was all a presupposition from Pythagoras, who presumed the moon was spherical, so therefore the Earth must be spherical. That's how the old story goes. Didn't measure a curve, he measured an angle. And then he did some mathematics and presuppositions. It's that simple. Nobody's measured Earth curve because the Earth is not curved. Nobody's seen the curve.
And you think he was like paid off to
There's
do
no
that shit?
observation. I don't even know if he existed, mate. I mean, it's just a story as far as I'm concerned.
Because there's like a lot of
Just telling you the story about.
like you see nowadays, right? People, certain top high up boys are like funding certain, science, right? Like based off of their, agenda. I'm just thinking, like, were they doing that 2,000 years ago? Like, what the hell?
Who knows? But that's. I mean, it's pathetic what you get. I mean, if you was coming new into this, and even if you type out what is the evidence of the Earth being a globe, you'll get some pathetic answers. The first thing you'll get is the Greeks knew the Earth was a sphere. They just knew it. Doesn't tell you how they knew it, and then it goes on to tell you that about that angle measurement presupposition I've just told you about, and then they'll give you other. This is evidence. This is globe evidence. Google it. The 7 proofs of the fucking globe is one of them's climb a tree. Climb a tree, and you'll be able to see further, and the distant horizon will drop because it's below your eye level to determine that's the curve. There's no measurement of that. Eclipses is the other one. They'll say the eclipses prove the shape of the Earth, where they're talking about twinkling lights in the sky again. You don't actually get a proper answer with any evidence whatsoever of how the Earth was measured.
That
There's
climatery
nothing
is
there.
crazy.
When you take
I
the
know.
when you take the eclipses out of your proof and you give them the impossible eclipse, that just proves globes don't exist in space.
It's so alien, yeah.
So, in your guys'
Okay.
model, the eclipses prove that the sun and moon are like the same size, or how does?
No, your eclipse that you guys claim is an eclipse debunks your globes in space, not us.
I don't know what an eclipse is.
We
I'm
have
a flat
nothing.
earther too, but I'm just asking what you
Globe
guys
Earth.
think of eclipses.
Go ahead. Globe Earthers say a lunar eclipse is because sun, Earth, moon. Right? That's the lineup. The
Right.
solar eclipse debunks that completely. So that also there debunks globes in space because you can't have bending light from the ground up in a shadow.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. Wait, so this Selenelian eclipse that you guys bring up, I can you guys explain that shit for like retards? Because I don't understand.
Okay, I'll go over this. I'm going to show a GIF first, okay?
Yeah, I seen the video of it.
Well,
I'm retarded as to what it proves or what it is doing or anything.
okay, so let's go over it real quick. The
Thank
sun
you.
and the moon in this eclipse are in the sky at the same time. So how can the Earth be in between them and make a shadow on the moon if the moon is up in the air and the sun is up in the air? Here you go. Not only that, the shadow's in the wrong place if it was a shadow. Should be going the opposite direction. The shadow should be on the bottom since the Earth is down below the moon. So complete debunk. Don't know what eclipses are. Never will. You can't go to the sky things. There's nothing you can do about that.
Wait, so if we didn't have the Selenelian eclipse, what would like this is the only way to understand it or understand what's going on? This is like the anomaly that
No,
makes it all
solar
make sense.
solar eclipses don't work either because then that says the moon is 70 miles wide, and we have one coming up shortly. Path of totality shadow is 70 miles wide. That would make you can't make smaller shadows with a bigger light. You can only make bigger shadows if you move the light closer to the source. Otherwise, you'll get the same size shadow if it was parallel rays. So Solar eclipses debunk globe Earth.
Okay.
Globers want to say refraction. The moon is an optical illusion and the sun is an optical illusion during that eclipse. So since the moon was up all night long and going down, and now the sun is coming up and they're both in the sky, what time did the moon turn into an optical illusion? Because it didn't jump in space or freeze still for 3 hours, just kept moving like it always does, like a clock. So
Would
Globers
they say
consider,
refraction on the Selenelian? Yeah.
yeah, if they say that, then that means all of their Eratosthenes shit doesn't work because then you have to claim refraction with the sun, so the shadows don't work. So they lose all the way around, no matter how you look at it. They put themselves in a corner, and that's the end of that. We've got Globers boxed in from all directions. It's not even worth trying to play. Just come in here and get information. Don't try to play the I can debunk flat Earth. You can't debunk water. It's not debunkable.
Well, for me, I come in here and try and debunk the globe, yeah, for myself. But a lot of the stuff you guys invoke is like over my head, you know?
I'm not new at this.
And none of you are.
Are, are you new to it then, mate? Are you just coming into this now?
Yeah. I'm like pretty new, yeah. Like a year or two.
So it's, what was the turning point for you then?
Mm,
What happened to make you think? What was
I
the
guess
first
I'm
thing?
pretty like faith-based because I can't really like scientifically deduct it for myself. But I just I see a lot of how do I say this? I see a lot of like cracks in the stories everywhere. Really, it's not just and my distrust is everywhere, right? I'm very critical everywhere, and so yeah, you guys come up with good arguments, and it makes sense to me. That's it.
I think
2050,
that's what it's like for a lot of people. I mean, sorry, mate.
20,
I think I was. I mean, when I into the flat Earth, I mean, I didn't know much really about anything. I didn't know there was groups of people and there was debates going on. It's just something that came up. But as soon as it came up, I just knew it within myself that it was true. I know that I couldn't say that in a court of law, and that's not evidence. But I knew within myself that it was true. And then it took a while then to find out what people were talking about it, what people were saying, and what the arguments were. And then you find out about the anti-flat earthers and the nonsense that you listen to about curved triangles and straight lines are bent. And it's just what goes on is unbelievable. The lengths that these people will go to keep their globe religion going is extraordinary. But we only observe a flat and stationary Earth. That's all. That's how we live our life. Globe Earth. There's nothing accounting for globe Earth in aerodynamics or surveying or building and engineering. It's not used
or
in
rocket
everyday life.
launches, or rocket
Yeah,
launches.
anything. It's not used for anything because we don't live on
Yeah.
a globe.
So
There's a
I
claim of how
first
it. Sorry, mate. Go on.
sorry. So no, you go ahead. You go.
No, it's
There's a
okay. I'm
claim.
finished.
Okay. I was just gonna say, yeah, I was a big conspiracy guy. I always like put off flat Earth, because in all these conspiracy, forums I was in, it was always like the psyop, and now, it comes up so much that it's like it was pretty much impossible to ignore. in all these groups I hang out in. And then yeah, it just and then I was always a moon landing guy, and I I pretty much like figured that one out. I was deep diving moon landings like 5, 6 years ago, like a lot. That was my big. So I disproved that for myself, and then yeah, flat Earth just kind of naturally came around.
So it was around maybe 2012 when I read Flat Earth somewhere, and I kind of looked at it and I went, that seems kind of weird that you can see far, and I never thought about it again. Then 2015, I was in the hospital for about a week, and then couldn't walk. Maybe I could barely walk for like 2 weeks. So I was being driven. We were just going somewhere, my wife and I was on a bridge, and I could see Lake Erie pretty far off, and I said, "That motherfucker is flat like that." And that was the last time. That was it. That was my cog diss. I looked at it and I said, "It's flat." And from then on, I've been a flat earther, and everything else makes sense. I didn't even go through the phase that people go through, all in tears and shit and crying in here. Uh, my dad worked at NASA, so for me, I already was suspect of the moon landings, and he had already retired, so it didn't bother me what I thought at that point. Flat. You can't debunk flat water. Once you know the water is flat, you can't have a ball of water.
I get it. That debunks the globe, but what do you? So what is? It can't be like completely flat though across the board, right?
Well, you have land that's up in the air, sea level. Sea level is zero basically, and that's flat. And it's there's only one ocean. They're all connected, and it's all one level.
You've got a mean
Oh, that's true.
sea
Yeah, that's a
level.
good point.
Obviously, you've got tides, but 0 degrees, yeah, it's a mean sea level. So that's anything above that. You've got mountains and hills and topography above there, and you've got valleys and canyons below that zero. But it's all measured from 0 degrees, which is the flat baseline, to determine anything above it and anything below it. That's how celestial navigation works when you're out on the sea.
Yeah,
You
so
utilize that
if I
sea level for
if I tried to do celestial navigation from my house, my we'll call it whatever they call it. They call it anyway. Your eye level to ground for me is 1,200 feet. I'm 1,200 feet in the air to sea level, so that's my number. I have to plug in. If I wanted to just pretend and do it, I would have to know my elevation at each spot. If I wanted to do it on land, just for shits and giggles, but you do it on the like if I do it on Lake Erie, which you don't need to because it's 165 miles long or something by 65. You don't need. You can just go one direction, and you'll hit land. But if you wanted to on there, you would use 700. They think Lake Erie is set 700 feet above sea level. So lakes and that are flat. Oceans are flat. Besides tides, and tides are not moon related. They're just long period waves. I think by the air pressure created by the sun going overhead, because it heats up the air pushes down on water, creates a big giant disperses it. That's me.
And what about the
yeah.
plots,
I'm
the big
I'm on
plots
that
of
path.
land? Like, is there like anomalies there? Is it like flat and then like a anomaly going upwards or downwards or anything? Or is it just, what do you think?
I didn't hear what you asked.
So like these big plots of land, like how flat are they, you think?
Unless it's a mountain, they're flat. If it's a plateau, you'll know it. It's just flat. They want to say, "Oh,
Well,
these people
everything's measured.
carved off the top of this mountain and made this." No, that's like Devil's Tower is flat on the top. It's just it was cut that way, basically flat.
So if you took out all the mountains and everything, it would be flat. There would be no anomalies, you think?
No, it's just if you took out all the land, you'd have one big ocean, and it would be one big flat ocean with the sun going around causing waves and weather.
Yeah, I agree on that one. I've always thought that something to do with the moon and the sun, not gravity, but I think the tides are tied in with them two luminaries, especially. Somehow.
That's why they're not exactly consistent all the time. Otherwise, they would be consistently, you could match it up all the time with the moon. It has nothing to do with the moon. Moon could not even be somewhere else and you're still going to get a tide. It's just a big wave. They're semi-predictable.
I
So
mean,
it's
it's
like
just
a
absolutely ridiculous that people still live on a globe.
so it'd be like a
It's
petri dish shape, you think?
don't know.
I wouldn't know. It's not in space.
Trouble with the flat Earth, mate, is there's a lot of unanswered questions. But we can.
Yeah.
The claims on the table for globe are pathetic, and they can be debunked. They have been debunked. There's photographic evidence, there's laser tests. Their claim of a radius of 3959 has been debunked. Yeah.
Yeah, I get
Everything,
that.
Space.
everything on Globe. I think we debunked every single thing on Globe so far. There isn't anything that hasn't been just shot right down.
Yeah. They're claiming we live on an open system next, with gas pressure next to a vacuum with no containment, and we know we can't have gas pressure without containment. Gas pressure has to be contained. We're living in a pressurized system. It has to be contained. These are all just logical. These are just logical. It's gas behavior. It's thermodynamics, and
So I'll give you another hint for. I'll give you another hint for
Yes.
you. It has to be contained, and Globers say, "Well, gravity is containing it." There goes that throws out your spectroscopy because then now you have to look through this layer that you don't know what it is, and it's so thick it can hold air in. So that goes out the window too.
None of them can talk you through gravity and put it through a scientific method. Starting with the observed natural phenomena. They'll mention picking up a pen and dropping a pen. That's not a natural phenomena. They'll mention Cavendish experiments. That's just a man-made fucking contraption.
Yeah, I learned about that
Everything
today.
about the globe is just, and everything about the globe is horrendous, mate. I mean, it's the more you look into it and think about it, it's absolutely pathetic how people would believe this nonsense that we live on a spinning water ball flying through vacuum of space, spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, traveling around the sun at 666,000 miles an hour. The Milky Way moving at 50 billion or 50 million miles an hour. Meanwhile, the constellations are all there, no parallax. We see the same constellations year after year. It's perfect. We don't observe any movement, feel any movement, observe any curve. It's obvious the luminaries are moving overhead, and we're not. Common sense, common knowledge is telling you this. But they tell you can't trust your senses.
If you didn't know anything and you
Can't
woke
trust your
up out of
senses.
a coma and looked up in the sky and started looking every night up in the sky, you would think the sky is moving. You would not think you are moving. I don't care who says that you would think that. If you were just born and could think and everything, and you were fully aware of everything and could talk and didn't know much, but you looked up in the sky for 3 months, you would say, "Why is the sky moving?" That's about all the questions you can ask.
Well, how do we know it's not a Hollywood
Exactly.
studio?
That's kind of a weird
Somebody's
question.
watching the Truman Show.
I'm just saying, if they can deceive us all so easily, who knows what the fuck it is, right?
Who deceived you? You don't have to watch TV.
I'm
Nobody
saying,
forced.
well, you guys are saying they deceived the whole world, right?
Yeah, nobody's forcing anybody to buy their bullshit. People just do. They love it. I don't buy anybody's bullshit ever because I do things for a living where I have to solve problems and I know how reality works. So magical, whatever, invisible things, pulling things around, that's not ever in reality.
What I'm saying is like, flat Earth is kind of the real red pill, right? Because when you figure it out for yourself, you know, everything is not safe anymore, right? You guys agree with that?
No, I'm more safe than I was ever because I can see through all the bullshit. I don't even have to worry
No,
about
that's
this
what I'm saying. Like the
pretend
information isn't
war on
safe to you.
TV.
That's what I'm
This,
saying.
yeah, the pretend war on TV started by Israel on their own people. Just blame somebody else. Now today I see we shipped them a bunch of military gear to Israel.
Yeah, from paragliders. It's hilarious.
No, the big airplanes landed at the airport and they were unloading all the ammunition for them for Israel. They showed it on the news. I like to watch news. I like to know what to expect from people when I like, hey, this, and this, and I go, and then I walk away because I don't want to be like, what are you talking about? They'll really think I'm crazy because I don't give a shit what's on TV. My wife knows what I watch. I watch shit from 50s, stuff like that. I watch old shit. I don't care because it's just background noise for me. Mostly I'm writing programs, writing engineering documents, or doing something, and it's all background noise. Right now, I'm waiting for shit to get here from Amazon, so I'm sitting on Discord because when it gets here, I will be building a bunch of prototypes, and then once those prototypes are in, then I'll buy the industrial version of those little pieces I made, but they have to work as a prototype first. I'm not spending thousands of dollars to see something doesn't work. I'd rather spend $40. So you can't fool me. I know what's on TV. It's why it's called television programming. That's why the news stations have entertainment licenses, not news licenses or whatever they're called. So the FCC can't hammer them for lying. When the news can say anything they can say a spaceship landed in Washington D.C. and took off. Everybody run and mean it, and people will buy it, and they can't get in trouble for saying it because it's like watching it's a sitcom license to write situation comedies. So as long as you watch the programming, the programs, the programming they're programming you with, you'll buy into it. The more, you want more. People are stuck to the television for that kind of shit. I got an 87-inch TV on the wall right in front of me, which is over my 4 monitors, which just plays bullshit. Sometimes I look at the stocks. I don't really listen to their stories, but like right now, the sound's down. I don't listen to it. Just look at the shit if I want to, or if I find a good cartoon. But it's morning right now, so kind of drinking coffee and seeing what the hell's going on. Waiting for meetings to start.
But you don't think flat Earth kind of helps you navigate the all the news spheres.
Yeah, it totally does. So, and part of the story in 2015 when I realized that was the week I was moving into this house that I was in. Since then, everything has changed. Since I realized that I knew for a fact the Earth was flat, everything has changed for me.
Right.
My
That's what I
position
was
at
saying.
work, I tripled my salary. Just not for any reason, probably because I got rid of the bullshit on TV and didn't worry about that stuff and can focus on real things. And then I started designing shit, and they said, "What the fuck?" And we need to move you into this group of people, and that's where I got put. I no longer had to be wrapped up in trying to figure out how to 3D model Earth with a moon, and then there's the sun there, and then if something comes in, how much does the Earth and Moon move if there's another body nearby? All that stuff. I was trying to do all that shit. I've been 3D modeling and working with that shit for, I'm not even going to tell you how long, but since AutoCAD came out, probably. Or at least version 8 is where I started.
And does all the ball model stuff work on 3D modeling or what?
Not at all. Nothing works like that. Not at all. You can't do that stuff. They say you can take a reading off a curved ball. You can take an angle where uh, off a curved line, and that's just they're just telling you stories because right now I use SolidWorks, which is like way different than AutoCAD, but does the same thing. And AutoCAD will give you some kind of error and try to do that. SolidWorks doesn't even allow pick points for that, so you can't even try to do it. You can't even go through the list of pick points to find an angle between a line touching a curve and that curved line where it intersects, that angle there. There's no such thing.
Oh wow.
Well, not on the software, right? Like if the software might not have tools for that, but that's something that if you ask a student of geometry, he can get you the answer easily.
No, you can't easily. You need
Oh,
a
I can.
you need to yeah, sure. You need to have a point to start with. That
Yeah,
intersection doesn't count
why not?
because the closer you get to that intersection, the angle changes.
No, I'm talking about the tangent. I think you mentioned the tangent,
I'm not
didn't you?
talking about a tangent. I'm talking about
Oh, but
anything.
yeah, but
Tangent
when
tangent is different. How can you be tangent to it? You to what?
to a circle.
So you're making a flat baseline then?
Yeah, that
Well, you
that
don't need
line is a
to.
tangent
All you do
to
is
the.
look over the water. You see it's already flat. What's there
Oh,
to
you're
tangent
connecting.
over?
Well, let me answer one of your questions. So if you're looking at, like, if you're on a curved surface and you look down and you're seeing the water, if you look up, you're seeing the sky. At some point in between those 2 points, it flips. It goes from water to the sky. That very point would be what we call the horizon. And a line of
All
sight
right,
to the horizon. Just
I'm gonna
just let
do
me
something
finish
for
this
you.
one thing, please.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna do something for you and post it. Go ahead.
All
Keep
right.
going.
Okay. Yeah. So this one point where it flips, which is the horizon, when you connect the observer to that point, that's a straight line, and then you can do a second straight line to a star, and that's the angle. You get the angle between those two lines. I don't see what's the issue here.
There you go.
I mean,
So so that 90 degrees hitting the ground basically from the star. How is that 90 degrees also to the observer?
there's now a 90 degree to the observer. That's a different angle for the observer.
Nope, it's 90 degrees in the celestial navigation. The ground position of the star is 90 degrees to the surface of Earth from anywhere. So no matter where you're at, that star has to be 90 degrees to the surface of the Earth.
Yeah, the angle is 90 degrees to the surface, but not to the observer.
So you have a curved baseline then. So you can't have it. So debunked.
What do you mean? Hang on a second. When you say a curved baseline, you're talking about the line, the surface, and the
The line,
line that goes. Hang on.
the
Let me
line,
just finish answering my.
the
Let me
line the
finish asking
guy is
my question.
standing on.
Hey, let me finish asking my question. I just want clarity here. So when you're talking about curved baseline, you're not talking about where the observer is standing, right? You're talking about where the GP is above, the star GP is above. Is that what you're referring to?
So where the observer is, he's 90 degrees to the ground, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
His vertical is, yeah.
Where the star is, it's 90 degrees to the ground, right?
Yeah, the line from the star to the surface, that's 90 degrees.
Uh-huh, So that has to be a curved baseline that you have to have on the bottom. It can't be a flat. You can't make it turn into a flat. So
I'm not
why I like to
saying.
use this example so much is because it shows how ridiculous you have to be. Because it is flat, and you can only do celestial navigation on a flat surface with a sky overhead. You can't do it on a ball. When you draw your 3 circles for your 3 readings, that shows you where you're actually located, where they all intersect. You can't do that on a ball.
Well, can you take a look at my live stream? Because I can show my something I did here.
I'll have to open up SolidWorks and show you it can't be done. I can't pull an angle.
Well, let me show you can.
I'll
Because
show
if I
you
show you,
pull an angle.
oh, 1 second, let me turn off
Oh,
my
wait a
alarm clock.
second. No, you're going from the center. I don't want you to start at the center.
Oh,
Remove
don't
that.
worry, I won. Yeah.
Just start over. Just start
Yeah.
on the end
Give
of
me
the
a
ball
second. I
where
gotta turn
everybody.
off my alarm clock. Give me a second. I gotta turn off my alarm clock.
They all got to start with the center point, don't they? But they don't have a ball because it's flat.
Now you're making sense. I understand what you're saying with the triangle thing.
I'm back.
I didn't understand the triangle argument, but now I do.
Okay, so you keep paying attention. He's going to give it away for us. No
Yeah.
center point. No center point. You need to go
Why
to the
not?
edge of that
Hang
ball.
on. I thought I would present something.
Yeah,
Let
I
me
don't want
present.
anything to do with the center because you don't have a radius that you've measured to get that center point.
It doesn't
Sorry,
mean. Hang on a
I do
second.
this shit for a living, so you don't have a
Hang on a
radius.
second. Let me address that. Let me address
Go
that.
ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, every sphere has a center, regardless on whether or not you
Yep.
know its
Do we have to
radius.
prove that you live on a
I'm
sphere
mid
yet?
sentence. Can you stop interrupting me? You're
You're
doing it all
lucky
the
that I'm
time.
in a good mood today.
If that's your good mood, then yeah. I mean, just stop interrupting me, please. So every sphere has a center. If your objection is that I can't have a center here if I don't know the radius of the sphere, that doesn't make sense because a sphere gonna have a radius either way. You knowing the radius or not.
Hold on 1 second. Professor, make sure you view this on your live stream so that we can go over this later. So click on him and view it if you're listening.
Yeah. I'm not sure if you ever heard of it. I guess you did. But on the spherical model, down points towards the center of the sphere. Are you aware of that?
Sure.
Right. So if I add an observer here, like this white dot, then downward is towards the center.
Oh
So
no, we
this
can't do
line,
that. We can't do that.
why not?
What are you talking about?
I can't point towards the center.
You can point towards the center, but you don't have any size or anything for that curve you're on.
I'm not using any size or anything. I'm
Okay, go
just
ahead.
pointing to the center of it.
Point to the center.
Right. So yeah, let me just make it higher so it's more noticeable that he's not on the surface. Okay, so he's some height above the surface. And of course, let me add a section here. So there are two lines of sight here. So he can measure the angle between two directions he's looking at. The one that points higher here would be the horizon mirror, and sorry, the index mirror, and the other one would be the horizon mirror with a nautical section. And you can play with where those arrows are pointing at. So if, for example, um, he points this arrow down like this, he's going to be staring at the water, obviously. And if he points it higher like this, he's going to be staring at the sky. at some point here, he's going to be staring at exactly where the water stops and the sky starts, which would be the horizon. So at some point here, he sees exactly that, last point on the surface before it starts being sky. And if you have a star, like I'm going to add a star here, you can just point the other scope to a star, like this. So once he points at the star, he can just take a reading of what the angle is between the point on the horizon and the point on the star. There's nothing about this being curved that prevents this angle from being measured. And if you ask a student, like a geometry student, what this angle would be, and you give them how high the star is, the radius of the sphere, and how high the observer is, you can easily figure out what this angle should be. So this does have an answer. It's not like some unanswerable thing in geometry.
Yeah,
It's actually
so if
quite
you go
easy.
back to my picture now, that's reality. You can't do that curved baseline.
Yeah, I'm not claiming that curved baseline. I'm claiming the baseline. The
That's
baseline I'm
what it
claiming
is.
here.
That's what it is in reality. If you were to take a sextant and go stand at sea level and start taking readings, you have to pretend there's some kind of curve that it's going around. And you have to do some magic, but you don't. All you do is you look, you get the angle, you point to the horizon, you take the angle to the horizon, and that's it. If you're in a boat in the middle of the ocean and you can't see anything, it's flat 360 degrees around you. It doesn't curve in one direction when you look out. All of a sudden it curves down where people like to say that's the curve you see, because then every time you turn a direction, you would see a curve. So it's flat completely around you. What you're showing is wrong. You're just that's just made up shit right there.
Well, whether or not this
You're
is
not doing
reality,
that you're not doing celestial navigation with that.
I'm not asking if this is celestial navigation. I'm
Oh,
just
so
presenting the point. Hang on a second. I can talk about that.
your
That's
point
enough.
doesn't work over my picture. You can't
Why?
add up 180 degrees in the triangle that I have on the screen.
I can do what?
You need what does the triangle consist of? How many degrees inside?
The internal sum of angles is a 180.
Okay, so on a flat baseline, you would have a 180-degree triangle. On that, you would have some weird more than 180 or less than. I'm not even sure. If I could bring it into SolidWorks, which I have done, I don't know where if I've
There's
saved
no triangle
some
here.
weird. Yeah, there sure is.
Hang on a sec. There's no triangle here where the sum of the angles would be greater than 180. If you think so, just
Pick
tell
a
me which
point
one you.
out in space above the line to do that. You need to pick a point on the circle.
Yeah, that's the point.
No, where the guy is standing with the sextant.
His GP,
Yeah.
like this.
Uh-huh.
There it is. What about it? I'm not using that.
Oh, then you're doing it wrong.
I don't care. The whole point here
I
is whether
do
or not.
care.
Hang on a
I
second. Let
do
me finish
care.
my fucking
No,
sentence
I'm
for
not going to let
once.
you finish
Yeah, I noticed
because
that.
I'm not going to let you finish because there you go. He left. Because
Yeah,
he's
he
false.
does that a lot.
He's presenting false. He's presenting a lie to you.
I know.
And
You
what I
didn't even
showed
try to do your picture. Yeah, what the fuck?
He does that a lot. What he'll do is he'll represent all the mumble jumble, falsehood, lies, showing math and pictures and side views. But then when you point out, "Hey, dude, that's not reality," and then he'll leave.
reality, the math in the sextant, you actually are placing the sextant on the ground. The reason why it's up in the air is because you can't put your fucking eye in the dirt and look at the sextant at the same time.
Exactly. And
So
then
that's why I told him to move the sextant down to Earth. Guess what happens at horizon? It shoots straight out, and then that whatever that star where it stays at is almost directly in line with it. So he fucked
right.
up.
And another thing too is when they you tell them, like, you guys, you create a that baseline that's needed when you do your dip correction, and they go, "No, we don't. We do dip correction because it's curved." Like, they can't grasp that. Like, there's the lights don't turn on when you tell them, when you're looking down at the ground and then you go up,
for your dip correction, and then you're calculating that because you're creating, just like you said, it's like you're bringing your eyes from the ground up to your eye level. That's what you're adjusting. Because like you said, you can't put it on the ground. You can't put your eyeball on the ground, and they can't grasp that dip correction is because you're creating that flat baseline to get that 90. I don't know why they don't. It's really weird, but there's like a blocking, like you know what I mean?
So
Like
the dip
something
correction
blocking.
for the new guy, the dip correction he's talking about is your eyes to the horizon, the height of your eyes off sea level. So you would have to place that sextant at the dip correction. For me, is 1,200 feet is my dip correction, which is actually my eyes to sea level, or the sextant at sea level. So they just call it dip correction for wordplay. Has nothing to do with any dipping of anything.
Yeah, exactly. These guys, it's just really weird though to watch them. Like they cannot grasp. Like it's really weird. There's something blocking them. That cog dis, I guess.
He's gonna go and try to put that sextant on the ground and come up with an answer, and he's gonna find out he doesn't have a straight flat baseline.
Right. No, that's a good point. Like when they draw the pictures, first of all, they make a person like he's like 5,000 miles tall. You know what I mean? Like he's because they make it to where he's like overlooking the ball already. But that's a very good point. That star in the way distance, close towards the horizon, the GP of that star to where you're at, like if you were on a ball, like you said, if you put the sticks on the ground, like that baseline will shoot straight out to the star. Like you won't even have a fucking
He
what you
thought he was
call it.
playing around with. He thought he was just playing, and he's gonna win this one, and he doesn't know that I've been doing this a long time. So we'll call 2015 for me.
Hmm.
So it'll be 9 years coming up.
Yeah.
He came to the wrong guy for the 3D modeling experiment, huh?
I would
Yeah,
have just opened up SolidWorks. And I thought it was open, but I see my computer didn't update. So my system works off, our our network at work, even though I'm at home. So they must have rebooted and did an update on my systems because both my tablet and my computer, my laptop computer, were both set at the screen to log in with all new credentials. So my SolidWorks was closed. I don't feel like opening it, but I think I had one of the drawings, that drawing of that guy, like on a 3D ball and try to pull the angle off a ball. You can't. It doesn't even. It's not. It just SolidWorks it just laughs at you. It doesn't even know what the hell you're trying to pick on a ball in the first place. You can't pick a point on a ball. You can create a point in space and get it. You'd have to create an object and attach it to the ball by tangent point and then delete everything, I think, and leave a dot and call that a spot. But then you're still not touching the ball, you're touching a spot. You can't do it in fucking any CAD systems. I don't care who tells me you can. You cannot do it. I've tried all kinds of different ways. It can't be done. If you can't do it in modeling in SolidWorks, which models reality, because the shit that I build in there works when it's manufactured or fabricated for me, or if I make it myself. They always work if it works in the modeling software I use. I can
What was
I
the modeling software he was using? Do you know?
I don't know what he was using. Some geometry thing. I saw sextant was a button that he created. Some
Oh, man,
JavaScript
cool, yeah.
some JavaScript thing that they have out there.
the thing is that he goes around servers where Globers, like that are just stuck in the brainwashing, and they're the ones that like, chant on, all these different YouTubers, but he'll go in there and he'll like do exactly what he just did here, and then but they will eat it up like, oh yeah, see, globe has to be a globe because he explains it, but but he's just spreading false information. I'm glad you pointed the truth out, and then it
Oh,
just shuts him up. He just leaves. That's what he does
yeah.
all the time.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I need to finish. I said, you need to put that fucker on the ground where it is in reality without doing the math. If you're going to model it, you can just put a sextant right on the ground. Who cares then? If you put a sextant on a flat surface and draw it out, and you in 3D made an ocean and you put things in the sky, you could tell where you're at if you made a coordinate system on a flat. You would know exactly where you're at by looking at known points in the sky with ground positions for that time and day of the year.
Yeah.
You're gonna be within, if you're really good, if you are really good and can hold that thing steady and not have a boat waving around, you'll be within 20 miles of your location, maybe 25. But most people can get within 50 miles. You only need to be within 50 miles because you can see lighthouses at that distance, which you're not supposed to be able to see on a ball, by the way.
I
Right.
think I have one. Is there anything that you'd recommend I do with it if I can find it in storage?
A sextant?
Yeah, play
Yeah,
around
I
with it.
believe I have one.
Learn how to use it first, and then play around with it. You'll see. You see, you can't do it
Oh,
on a ball. Once you figure out how to use it, you're going to see this doesn't work on a ball. You
fair
can see.
enough. I'm
You,
working on another. Oh, sorry. Go ahead,
go
man.
ahead. Just go ahead.
Oh, I'm also working on another experiment right now, and I could use some help if anybody is in the Northern California area or like Southern Oregon. There's this place called Goose Lake, and I wanted to get a P900 or P1000 on one side and have somebody on the other side to help me line it up. And it's kind of a two-person job, but if you're in the area, like I could use some help. Just DM me. It's Rat Red. And
Yeah,
if you
but
know anybody, like
I'm,
have them
I'm in
reach out to me,
Ohio.
please.
How close? I'm in Ohio. How close are you talking?
Oh, that's a whole state away. But keep your eyes out for anybody who'd be up for it nearby.
Well, I drive to Michigan and Pennsylvania all the time. I just
Now
don't go.
this is West Coast, so yeah.
Uh,
But maybe you can do the same thing I'm doing. So we can have like our black swans. I encourage everybody to go find somewhere that's just not gonna line up with the alleged curvature of the Earth. And you can get these cameras for relatively cheap. The prices drop dramatically, but they're still retaining their value to where you could go get it on eBay, and if you take care of it, you can do your experiments like and not even out of your way if you find a place, and then get most of your money back, if not like full. Anyway,
yeah, once you have a P900 like me, you don't really want to sell it. So I've done all that. Now I just use it for sky anomalies, the moon. I'm trying to get a star near the moon, so when I get a close up of the moon, the star is still in there. So far, nothing in the 3 years I've had my P900. Nothing. Can't get any stars when I get close to the moon with the camera. So start zooming in. There's no such things as stars in the background. It's just weird. I can't get them. I can't get them. Other people may have, but I'm doing, I'm zooming in all the way and then panning over.
Have you not seen any? Where's all the satellites going over the moon?
I haven't
Not
gotten
got any pictures of them yet.
I haven't gotten any satellites, and I should get them. I'll show a picture. I should get them when I do these shots right here, which I do all the time. This is like my go-to picture when I open my camera. I do this, so I know I'm all set up. Let me pull it out.
are you throwing it in side chat?
Yeah. Let me just find the right one because I got tons of them. So once I get this picture, comes. Then I move my camera around and I zoom in, and here's my zoom ins. But the nice thing about the P900, it already has the moon setting, so when you hit the OK button, it zooms to that, what you see, and then you can play with it more. You don't have to hold down the zoom button and make your lens go out. You just hit the OK button and it's makes your lens, it sets it to where you would set it normally. But then I get these pictures.
Do you think that maybe it's just the nature of the camera to where like it's just not gonna pick up things in the background or what's the word for that? It's not aperture, is it? To where like you can have stuff focus at a certain distance, but nothing else, everything else is blurry. Is that the right word?
Maybe, I don't know. Anyway, what I'm thinking is there's a point where a star is going to be right by the moon at some point, and I want to get a close up of that
What do you think
because,
about since you've had this P900 for a while, selling it and getting yourself a P1000? It's only marginally better, but I don't know.
well, I would just buy a P9000 or P1000 and keep this one too and turn this into infrared. I'm thinking
Oh
about it.
yeah, nice. But
I've
you
thought
could
about
just
it.
do that with the P1000 and that would like get you some money back and pay for the additional lens.
We'll see. I got a lot of shit going on. Then to buy another camera, another thing that I don't use all the time.
Yeah, I sure hope that I'll just get my stuff done and not want to hold on to it because yeah,
Well, as
I
soon as
bet
you
it'll. I
buy
don't want to
pictures,
have to worry about storage and
soon as you, yeah, well, I have a 500 meg card I put in mine, and it's not even able to do it. I just formatted it into different disks, and it's using a 256 meg one, I think, or 128 gig one. I mean, gig, not meg. Uh, so
yeah.
whatever. And then I just dump them out as I need them. But that card I can put in my computer, into my camera, and I can use it for my PDF stuff. So I use it. I take that one card all the time with me. I don't even know how many SD cards I have, probably 30 of them. And the new ones, the 512 gigabyte ones, are pretty sweet, pretty quick. I think I only paid $29 for it.
Yeah, I like keeping my stuff on SD cards too, but it's kind of bottlenecked because I have to get ones below 32 gig to get them to read on the devices I want them read on. So I have like a bunch of them.
Kind of
What sort of
device?
images are you guys like? What are you taking photos of?
What kind of devices?
I mainly just see like this is like I have a nice iPad, but like I also like using Android tablets. I'm
Oh,
crippled, so
those
I can't
ones.
type, so I rarely use a computer. Otherwise, I just get, a bunch of memory on that. So for my situation, having a bunch of like 32 gig SD cards actually makes sense, at least to me. But anyway.
32 is kind of plenty unless you're shooting bunch of photographs with cameras.
It's because I'm worried that society's gonna collapse, and I want to have like a bunch of movies and stuff that I can just watch on like shitty tablets.
Don't worry, it's not going to collapse. It's just on TV.
I just like living that way, but that's nothing to do with flat Earth, so we'll drop it.
Okay, what was the question from the Glober?
Yeah, what sort of images are you taking?
I just posted two of them.
Oh, cool.
Was it a learning curve to get those photographs, or was it like pretty much out of the box, point, shoot, and you got these photos?
Out of the box, point and shoot. There's a learning curve if you want to do other cool things, but like if you want to see the moon when you only got a sliver of it and you want to see the whole moon, you can trick the camera into opening up its aperture and letting all that light in, and you can see the whole circle.
Are you a flat
Copy.
earther?
I don't believe him.
I'm a globe Earth skeptic. I'm not just gonna automatically assume the Earth's a globe because some scientist said so. But then again, I want to do my own experiments. Like I said, I don't want to base my opinions off some YouTube video I watched. And it's like I think I'm flat Earth leaning, but I'm not gonna definitively say there's flat until I have more proof.
Okay. What about Dr. Dan or Dr. Banbot, the guy that posted these images? Is he a flat earther?
He is a
Did
flat
he
earth.
leave? Oh,
He must have. Anyway,
Yeah,
what
are
are you
you really a
skeptical about for the
doctor?
globe?
yeah, I'm a doctor of flat earth.
So you're a flat earther and you took images like this, right?
Yeah, I take all kinds of images: birds, rabbits, my dog, sky.
So do you think the moon is real?
Yeah, I can see it.
I mean, like physical?
I'm not sure what I'm looking at. I'm still debating. That's why I take pictures like a fucking maniac of the moon whenever I
That's cool.
can, whenever I feel like it.
It's a good picture.
I wanted to this morning. It was just a sliver in the sky, and it was perfect. And I came in the house, made coffee, and I forgot about it because I started writing my notes for work, and then that was it. The sun was out, and I couldn't get it because there was a star nearby, but it wasn't close enough for me to want to do what I want to do.
Do you have any intention on traveling to Mexico or maybe like South America at all?
No, I like
I
Ohio.
don't blame you. I just brought it up because I went a couple times as a child, and I just distinctly remember the moon seemed larger in the sky when I was closer to the equator, like in southern Mexico. And I don't know, I mean, we're talking about 20-year-old memories, but man, if I had a camera like that, I'd like to be down there, take a picture, then go way up to Washington on the Canada border and see if there's distance or
Well,
size difference.
if you wait till our room fills up, because it will, we are the top room on the server now. It
By
will
long
fill
shot,
up.
if you look at it, your ratio or stats are really good.
Yeah, so you'll get some South Americans, flat earthers. You could ask that question too.
Fair enough.
I only want to go on cruise ships where I'm still in the United States, no matter where I go, as long as I'm on the ship.
I don't think it works that way once you're out of. Are you sure that's how it works? And I'm pretty sure the only American cruise line is out of Alaska.
License. I only need my driver's license. You don't need a passport to go on a cruise ship. That means when I enter the country, I'm already through customs on the cruise ship. They do it right there. You're checked before you ever get on. You're checked on and off when you get on and off the boat.
Why does that bother you anyway? I don't mind having a passport and going through customs, but you have a bad experience?
I don't like traveling, so a cruise ship is easy for me. I can take one airplane, get on the boat, and let that boat take me from place to place. I don't like flying. It's bullshit. It takes too long. I can drive to some places quicker than I can fly to those places. Like if I wanted to fly to Detroit and I got in my car right now and drove to Detroit, I would be meeting them at the airport when the plane landed because it takes so long to get through the airport these days.
I really can't stand. I would rather just have a car and drive myself, even if it's longer most of the time. But yeah, it just depends.
That's just me. I've always been like that. People like, oh, flying's so much fun. Well, when you've done it as many times as me, it's no longer fun. It's a chore.
If I had more money to work with, I've, flown a Cessna before. Not like, well, in the co-pilot seat, but same thing. And that was freaking fun. And if I had my own little airstrip, oh yeah, I'd be on that like butter on pancakes. But that's way out of my budget.
Yeah, I've flown a Cessna pilot seat, um, with the pilot in the co-pilot seat. I did all the flying. And then I was going to get into it, and then I got bored with it because I was like, well, it's going to be really expensive. And at that time, it was really expensive. For me now, I could just go if I had
Oh
a
yeah.
Cessna and a private strip, I could just fly it.
I would actually just want one of those experimental sports planes about the size of a Cessna because they're so much funner to fly and you can do like tricks and stuff. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever get there. And honestly, I would probably rather use that money for like charity. Like, shoot, I'll do flat Earth research with that money. Like, it's better than wasting it on a plane because I want a plane.
Save all your money. Let the people on TV give to charities. That's what the television programming is for you to give up your money.
Oh, I mean, like charity, like real charity, like not like giving it away. Like, if you gave me $100 and told me to like, put it towards something that matters, it would all go to, that cause because I'm the one doing it. But when you give it to an actual charity, it's like all the administration fees, oh, they're paying themselves, and then at the end of the day, you're lucky to that 20 cents on the dollar actually goes to the cause itself.
Well, yeah, once it gets to the guy of that 20%, you got to hope that he gives it out to the right people. Yeah, I don't do charities. That's a no-no. I just give people who need stuff, I just give it to them. But it's me personally, I have to know them. Or I take, I don't know, every couple of years we clean house and get new furniture and shit, so we take that to Goodwill or give it away.
Fed up with Goodwill. Their prices are almost as much as just buying new stuff. I don't know what happened to it, but there's other stuff. Like there's this thing called Gray Bears, which is like the same thing pretty much, but it's more senior citizen based. And that place is awesome. Yeah, like the church I go to, like nobody nearby is ever gonna go hungry because we have so much like extra money that we don't know what to do with. We just started our own little food bank to where it's literally outside, to where you don't even have to talk to anybody. You just go and take cans off the shelf if you need them.
Oh, look at that. We are just blowing up the server. We hit 6,000 hours last night when I posted it. So we added another 90 hours.
Oh, damn.
That's in 4 weeks. Some of these people have been on here for years.
That's embarrassing.
That shows you how much that this topic, and you can't find it besides anti-flat Earth and flat Earth debunking in any searches, but yet we're top on this server. If we went to any server, we would be top on that server too. But right now, we're here. Our server was always packed. We moved. We still run that. I still go there. Our mods in here still mod that, and we have bots streaming in all the places we go. So we are always live streaming to YouTube, no matter where we're placed. They follow us.
Are you gonna do a stream for this channel too or no?
Ta-da! You're on it.
Do you
Oh,
think do you think there's more flat earthers now than there used to be?
Yeah, there's more flat earthers. We gain them every day. I can tell when a Glober comes in here and he's not all fucking anti-flat Earth. I can tell when he's a Glober and kind of skeptical, and then we don't hear from him again. That guy's on a journey.
What about all the flat earthers that have come back to the globe site?
Never heard of that.
Haven't you?
Nope.
There's a medicinal mass media Discord server, and they've done, I think, 5 interviews with ex-flat earthers, and that's just that one server.
Then they weren't flat earthers.
What does that mean?
They didn't know the
Right.
Earth was flat. They just bought into stories on videos. That's all. They didn't do their own research. Once you
Right.
do
Yeah,
your
but you don't know
Podcast
the
did a
Earth
lot
is
of
flat,
his
do
own
you?
research.
once you do your own research, how are you going to go against it?
Well, you don't know the Earth is flat, though, do you? That's not something that you know. That's an
Yeah,
opinion you have.
I know water is flat and level over any distance. So how do you want to explain that on a ball?
Well, it's not flat, it's level, and level isn't flat. That's just a semantics game that flat earthers have made.
Whoa.
They can't show to be
You
true.
telling me that curved lines are level?
Yeah, they can be if they conform to the liquid parts of the surface of the Earth.
Okay. My stomach hurts now. You just told me
Do you
that
want me to just explain it to you?
you just told me curved lines can be level. If I
Yeah,
present
do you want me
that,
to explain it to you?
if I present that in a meeting today, I could possibly get fired.
Okay, great. So I'll explain it to you right now. So level just means an equidistant from the center of mass, like the center of the Earth. And so sea level means that the sea is at an equal point from the center of the Earth in elevation. So sea level is what we calculate level off on the surface of the Earth. So if the Earth is a sphere and the sea is equidistant from the center of that sphere, then level would be a curve around that middle point in the middle of the sphere, and would be equidistant and would be a curved line. Do you understand?
I've posted a definition from a geodetic surveyor textbook.
Mm.
Yeah, I just use like logic and rationality, but
So what you're
is there
saying
anything I
is,
said that was incorrect?
what you're saying is the Earth is made of a bunch of flat spots.
Nope.
No.
Oh, so anyway, curved lines are not level and can never be level. Curved straight lines, level horizontal, that's flat and level. You can't argue with it. You can't look out at the horizon and see a curve, can you?
Well, I mean, just
Just to
because you
be
don't want to
clear,
hear the
you
argument
totally
doesn't mean
can
we can't
have a
argue.
level
Right?
curved line, but it's got like if you took a piece of string and laid it on a table and then curved it up, that's still flat on one plane.
That's not.
Yeah. So
That's not a straight line then.
a horizontal on the Earth would just be like the tangent at that point, and that's something that Euclid described in his postulates. So what's the problem with having like every individual point on the surface of the Earth, and it could be an infinite amount of points technically, all has its own individual unique horizontal, which is why, plumb lines diverge and you have things like spherical excess and surveying, because those points, those like horizontal
all
points, are
you're
different
repeating
depending on
are
where
the
you are on the
lies.
Earth.
All you're repeating are the lies. Plumb
Yeah.
lines don't converge. Surveyors aren't you doing just all you're doing is repeating the same shit that we've been debunking year after year. That's all you're doing. Now
We haven't been debunking.
you can confirm your bias and continue to believe the lies and just regurgitate them. You could do that all day every day. But we're letting you know that that's all a lie. That's all a misunderstanding in your brain. You heard stories, you believed them, and you stuck with them. You stick with them. You'd say
Yeah,
you
so
heard somebody told you that plumb lines converge because it's a ball.
Diverge.
Somebody told you
They
that.
diverge.
So
I'm sorry.
how did you debunk
They
that one
diverge.
specifically?
Easy.
So just quickly, it's funny you say that because I fully explained every term that I use and everything that I believe, but all you did was go on a screed saying that I am mistaken on what I believe and that I'm just blindly following what someone else said. So I'm sorry, but who's able to fully explain what they mean? Was it you?
So dogs. So
I'm
if you can
listening.
dogs, if you fully explain a lie, does it make it the truth?
If someone else can't fully explain why that lie is a lie, then
so let
it's
me
more
explain
likely to
why
be
it's a
true.
lie.
I'm sorry, you asked me a question. Wait till I finish my question.
Okay, so let me explain why it's a lie then. Because you said if somebody could explain the lie. So the reason why it's a lie is because when we build things, It's always plumb level square, 90 degrees, flat,
That's
horizontal.
you're the guy I
Right,
was looking for. Tell him about how far you have to shoot for level. It's funny. He won't
So,
listen to you anyway.
so
It's
that's
ridiculous.
that's just your assumption, isn't it?
No, it's my real life experience. It was my career to build shit
Yeah, I know.
plumb level square. So if you could think about this,
Yeah.
just kind of think of it this way, okay? One side of the story is saying we have to build according to the curve of the earth, right? That's a story. That's a textbook.
No one actually says that for
That's
most
a
projects. It's only for some extremely large
In a-
technical
yeah.
projects.
no, even hold on. See, that's another Glober tactic right there. Oh, you're building too small. Look at
It's not a tactic, it's reality.
building. No. Here's reality. In the 2.5 mile bridge that we built, no curvature involved at all. Okay, no one mentioned
The
it. No one.
suspension bridge.
Because, hold on.
No. It
Did
wasn't
you
even. It
did you
wasn't.
use? I need to clarify. Did you use elevation as your reference points to make sure?
You transfer the benchmarks, and you know what that does?
So you used elevation.
Hold on. Yeah, and let me share something with you.
Okay.
I'll explain it to you the same way I explained to somebody else yesterday or the day before. Okay, so I want you to imagine. Okay, you know what a level is in construction?
Yes, we all do. Just get on with it so we can actually deal with this problem that
Okay,
you're having.
so imagine a level, okay, and imagine the level is not just a 3-foot one. Let's say the level is a 5-mile level. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. So what that means is when you make it level, that means there's no change in elevation from one side to the other. Would you agree to that?
Incorrect.
Oh, really? Levels do change from one side to the other elevation. Really? Then it wouldn't be level.
Okay. If you
Look,
if you
let me
Okay, go ahead.
let me dig a little bit deeper, okay? If let's take that 5-mile level and we're gonna reduce it down to a 1-foot level, okay? When you put your level on top of, let's say, your dresser, okay? Now we're gonna say the dresser is off the floor, okay? And then we take the level and we're putting it on there, and now because the bubble in the middle of it is the center of those lines, what that's representing is that the floor beneath the dresser, it's not angled to where one side of it is higher or one side of it is lower, because that's what's going to make it unlevel. Would you agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, can I
So
just
then
point something out here, APOC? All of
oh,
this is reification fallacy.
you could get out of here with your bullshit, dude. I don't care what you're saying. I'm speaking reality. I'm speaking
No,
logic.
it's
You can
reification. So just
reification
let
of
me
truth.
explain.
You're right.
It'll take 2
You're right.
seconds
No,
to explain if you'd
no.
like.
Let me
You
finish.
asked
No,
a
let me finish.
question
Let me
about the level. Let him answer.
let me finish about level, okay? Let me finish. So when you take a 1-foot level, you put it on something that's, let's say it's not leveled, okay? Let's say the dresser, you put like a shoe under one side of it. Now that's going to represent a slope, right? An angle. So now when you put the level on top of the dresser, you're going to have the water bubble. It's not going to be in the lines, okay? So then you can say, oh, well, I know how to correct this. You take the shoe out, it goes back flat and horizontal. Now the level's straight again. So now with that logic in your brain, let's now make that level 5 miles long, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to put toothpicks on top of that level, all the way on top of it, all the way down from point A to point B, okay? B being the end of that 5-mile level. Now, if you realize once you're done with your project of putting those toothpicks, none of them are curving. And it makes sense because they are level. They are level to the ground, because that's what level is. Now, saying curved is level
Okay.
is not even what the definition is saying. It's saying it's
I
level
literally
to the
posted the
liquid.
definition in the
Yeah.
chat.
The
It's
geodetic
to a
level, that's
liquid.
exactly what it's saying. It's
To
All
saying
a
right,
that
can I
it
liquid.
just
is
explain?
curved.
I'm just going to explain how it's a reification fallacy now. So what you've done is you've taken what a
God,
level
dude.
does and you've turned that into an abstract concept, and you've expanded that out to 5 miles, something that no one has ever done. No one's created a 5-mile level. And you're saying because you can do that in abstract, you can say hypothetically a 5-mile level on a flat earth would do this thing. Therefore, it must be reality that there's a 5-mile level out there that has shown that the earth is flat. That's a reification fallacy. It's a failure of logic on your part, Apocryphon. Please move on and actually give evidence for the shape of the earth.
Okay, so the fact that you are going to dismiss the logic in that example, it tells me all I need to know about you, honestly, because
There's
a
no
flat
logic
surface.
involved. There's just the fact that words have more than one definition. So when I say in Mario World, I got to the next level, that has nothing to do with the carpenter's level that you're talking
Yes,
about.
it does. Yes, it does. Because in that game world, all the levels are created in a flat plane.
There you go.
So when someone goes from level 8 to level 9 in a character in an RPG, does that use the same meaning of the word level?
You
Well, there's
really want to
different.
No, I
hang
mean
your
in terms
hat
of
on that? I mean, you guys
explain.
are kind of getting
No,
wrecked here.
No.
Just
it's
to
just
explain.
funny, mate. And like
No, here's what's
Apocryphon,
funny.
I'm not
No,
just
here's what's
dismissing
funny.
your logic. I'm pointing
Here's
out how
what's
your
funny.
logic is fallacious.
Here's what's funny, dogs. Here's what's funny, dogs. Is that it's logic that flat is level. That's logic. That's
Not
damn it.
logic.
That's
No,
that's
that's not
it's
logic. That's
That's
it's a
definitional.
misunderstanding
okay,
the
That's
concept.
look
The
at
concept.
definitional,
look
and you have been handed a
Concept.
definition of
We're talking about construction. Hey,
geodetic
hold
leveling
on. Hey, listen,
that
listen, listen,
accounts for the
listen,
spheroid,
listen,
the mean
listen.
spheroid pattern of the Earth.
Okay, listen.
He's
Okay,
gonna
By
listen.
tell you
definition.
Okay,
flat in
okay, listen.
construction means
Right,
level. Do
listen.
you
Yeah, exactly.
understand?
It can mean level on like
Look
a
at
1 meter
dogs,
part, but it can't mean
dogs,
level on 5 miles. That doesn't follow. It's
dogs. We're
illogical.
talking about dogs. We're talking about in construction. Okay, we're talking about building shit. We're talking about something on top of the ground of the topographical. You know,
Yeah, I
the
understand all that
everything.
Apocryphon.
Okay, so hold on though. If you understand that, then why are you talking about somebody leveling up a character in a video game? We're talking
I'm
about
going to
level.
explain that to you. So
What
in
you
the
do?
conversation, someone said words don't have multiple meanings, and someone brought up Mario having different levels, and someone said
Okay,
those levels
okay.
are all in like a flat
Okay.
2D world. And then
Okay,
I
got
said
it.
there's another term, like another description for level, and level can mean like a change in power in an RPG.
Got it.
That's why I brought that up. Do you understand Apocryphon?
Right. So, but now let's go back
Yeah,
to
I think
reality.
someone answers a question fully. Mate.
Right. So let's
What
go back
you
to
said
reality.
was something was logically true, and I said no, it's definitionally true in one context.
No.
But you have been provided another
No.
definition. This is not a logic problem.
Hey,
This
listen
is
to
a
me.
word problem.
Hey, Dante. Let me ask you something. Are you in construction?
No, I'm a machinist.
Okay.
I
Have you
use a
ever built?
machinist level that I could sit on top of your carpenter level and tell you
Good
exactly
job.
how far off your carpenter's level is.
Good job. Now let me ask you something.
Because you
Have you?
understand that,
Okay,
like, you know, like for a
That's good.
welding
Hey,
table,
Fox,
I
you
need
have
to
to
make
let
sure that
people,
it's
other
within
people talk as well.
That's
thousandths of
great.
an inch.
That's
Just
great.
take
Okay.
turns.
Okay. So now that you know what level is, if you are making things on a machine, okay?
Nothing's changed in my understanding of level, if you think that's what happened.
Okay, so if
You
level
just focused in on one definition that I already
Hey,
knew
stop at the time,
and
otherwise it's
ignored another
impossible to follow the
definition.
conversation.
So let's let Apocryphon get it out so that we can wait for him to finish and then destroy it.
in construction, okay? Let me say it one more time because you guys are fucking idiots. In construction,
That's
when
not
you're
what's
making
happening
something
here.
level, okay, when you make something level, okay, in construction, when you make something level, it is flat, okay? Flat meaning horizontal, okay? Not curving level. It's not the bullshit definition that you guys have adopted because somebody wrote it in a book and now you believe it. One day, by the way, somebody's going to write a definition that a man can give birth to a baby because they're fucking retarded. Okay, they're retarded. We know that though. We know they're stupid. But one day, in 60 years from now, when the kids grow up, because they're being, groomed right now in classrooms, they're gonna believe that a man
Not
can
with
give birth
this
to a baby.
transphobic screed. Can we talk about the shape of the
Listen.
earth, please, Apocryphon?
So listen. So no. Well, I'm trying to make you realize that definitions are bullshit.
So you were talking about grooming, and you were talking about men
look
giving birth to babies. Literally nothing to do with what we're talking about.
definitions are bullshit when they're being pushed out as an agenda to make the world be something that it isn't, to make reality something more than what it truly is.
Sure.
So guess what? So when
now
they
can I explain to you why your
Hold on,
entire
Dubs, can I
building
just...
process level thing is completely insane? Are you ready? Can I take this now, please?
hold on, I'm not done. So when they
Yeah,
say
you
that
finished
curved,
saying the same thing 5 times.
when they say that curved is level, that's just a definition that's pushing the heliocentric model since the 1400s now. Okay.
You need to understand the way a level works right?
No, you
You're
need to
talking
understand.
your 5
Don't
mile
interrupt.
level
Let him
or
talk.
1 foot level both work the same way. Okay? It
You
is
need to
the
understand.
liquid in the chamber, right, adhering to gravity, which is showing you a normal perpendicular line from the center of the spheroid Earth. Okay?
That's
That's
what
the
you
way that
believe.
works.
That's what you
So
believe.
so
That
so
you believe.
so
Okay, so when you take that
in
level,
fact, imagine that you had
so
a
so
1,000-mile level, right?
right, and it's going to be
And
a
the
flat plane.
question is, at
Absolutely,
which point, right?
absolutely.
If it just grant for 1 second, imagine in your small mind that the Earth was round.
Your small mind is
What would that
fucking
look
wrong.
like, right? What would you have to do to the level, right, to get that bubble in the middle? And the answer is you would have to take that level and put it perpendicular to the normal line from the center of
Perpendicular,
the sphere,
perpendicular,
right?
perpendicular.
Tangent.
Yeah,
90
normal.
degrees. 90
Yeah,
Tangent.
degrees.
yes,
No,
normal.
I'm going
Tangent.
to
That's
stop
right.
everybody
Use
Right.
right
tangent
now.
And
instead,
so
otherwise
and
you get
Stop.
and
confused.
that in
Stop.
fact, so here's the
Stop
thing, that in
talking.
fact is what the geodetic level.
Okay, so this guy says he's a machinist. That's
Oh,
wonderful.
why are you interrupting this conversation?
Okay, let me go ahead and mute you two. Now, since he's a machinist, he gets to tell me how all this works. If he was to machine a part that was 5 miles long and it had to be level from point A to B, what would you do then? Would you follow the curve of the Earth? Go ahead, machinist.
Hold on,
I'll
I was away
draw it
from my
up. I'll
computer. I
draw it
wasn't
up
sure if I
for
was
you.
getting muted because you were getting wrecked.
I'll draw it up for
No,
you,
the answer
machinist, and you tell me if that
it
level line
depends
curves when
what
you
kind of
machine a
level
level
we're
line
talking
five
about.
miles long.
Oh, I'm sorry, you asked a question, I had this crazy idea you might want the answer.
we're saying level in construction, not your bullshit. Fucking level is curved to the earth
And what
bullshit.
right, so that's but you still have an unanswered question.
You
By
you
levels, do
you
you
don't get
mean
it.
normal? Because your level, your 5 mile level
Level.
works
Okay,
based
let me
on
explain to you what
gravity.
level
I don't
means.
know, do you
Let me
believe in
let me explain to you
gravity?
what let me
Or
explain to you
is
again.
that just a theory of time-space, fabric bending?
Let me explain to you what level means again. Okay, I'm gonna say it slower this time. Okay, so when you have something that's level, okay, that means the surface beneath it is flat. Okay, and it's not
That's
gonna
not
have
what it
change.
means.
It's
No,
not gonna.
no, it means
Okay,
the
okay, okay,
surface beneath it
okay.
is
Let me.
Does
consistent.
not
Okay,
change with
okay, okay.
elevate
So let me.
Right.
Okay, so let me finish.
elevation.
You're saying that's not what it means because that is what it means. Yeah, I understand
No,
you don't believe in reality though because
Your
level
no, you
when
your
don't
something
believe
is
in
level
level
reality,
works
Atma.
from
when something
gravity.
is
It
level.
doesn't
Listen,
mean that
listen,
it's flat.
listen, listen,
If you
listen.
take your level
Okay,
and it represents that something
holy
is
fuck, dude,
level,
you
the
guys are
bubble is
fucking.
in the middle,
Hey,
that
I'll tell you
just
what.
you're
I'll tell you
literally
what.
You
just
Hey, I'll
making
tell you
the
what.
case
I'll tell
that
you what.
yes,
I'll tell you
gravity
what.
is
I'll tell
directly
you what.
down from this
I'll
level
tell
on
you
both
what. I'll tell
ends.
you what. If you were to go on a job, I'll tell you what. If you were to go on a job site, and they said, "Hey, dude, make this level," okay? If you came back to them, and it was sloped in one way or another, then
sloped
you
is
would.
not
Okay,
curved
just
is not
listen,
sloped. It's
just
different.
listen, just
You're
listen, just listen,
conflating things.
just listen.
I've
Okay,
already heard your
because
argument, and I fully
level is
understand. You don't
We've
need
all
to
heard
say
this
listen.
more.
5 times, APOC.
Look at
We've all heard it 5 times, and you're not listening to us. That's the problem.
level means that there's no change in elevation from the left to the right.
Correct.
So let's say they said, hey, make this box right here, okay, and I want you to make it 6 feet on each side and make sure it's level. Okay, if you made the box and you put one side at 5.5 feet and the other side at 6 foot, that's not level, is it? Yes or no?
No,
Is that
because it's a
level?
change in elevation.
Oh, thank you,
But
That's
thank you.
right.
Okay,
We
now
all
you get it.
there's
agree
Okay,
no
now,
change in
okay,
it is
okay.
elevation.
consistent
I've
It's
already told you
elevation.
why
curvature.
this is
now,
illogical,
okay,
APOC.
so
I've
now
already
look,
told you why the logic is wrong here.
so now,
Having a small scale level does not mean it's a large
so now,
scale level.
okay,
Can you get that through your head? Okay,
okay,
listen and
okay,
repeat
so
back to me.
now,
Small
okay,
scale level
got you.
does not mean it's large
Now,
scale level.
okay,
Can you
shut
repeat
up
that
now.
back to me,
Okay,
please?
shut up now because you're still just saying stupid shit. So now, if you're gonna make a, let's
Well,
say you're
you're
gonna
not
make a,
engaging with what
okay,
anyone
you're gonna
said.
make
You're
a
just
two
repeating the
mile,
same thing again, again,
okay,
again.
okay. So now you're gonna make a 2.5 mile bridge. Okay, so
Has
and they
anyone ever
tell,
done this
okay,
and shown
shut the
its
fuck
level?
up, shut the fuck up. So
No,
now,
fuck you, APOC.
so now the bridge
Speak to
is
me
now
like
It's
a child.
we're gonna make this level. Look at, we're gonna make the bridge level for 2.5 miles. Okay, we made it level. Okay, it's going straight across. The only time that it changes elevation is for when it has to go down like a exit, like a on ramp and off ramp, that which takes the trams into the housing so they can repair them and stuff like that and house them. So, but that's the only change in
Echo,
elevation. Otherwise,
can somebody else talk now?
well, that's fine because I'm telling you truth and
Because
you don't
you
want to hear it. I
repeat
get it.
the
I get
same
it.
thing multiple times. You need
But
somebody else.
here's the
Right?
thing, though. That's fine, though. I'm
So
telling you the
can you
truth because it's the
stop
truth.
for a
If
minute
you don't
You're
want
and
to hear
let
the
me
telling
truth,
you're,
answer?
Do you
Yeah,
you're
please
if
okay.
you don't
definitely
want to hear
telling
the
us
truth,
the
then go
truth.
somewhere
You're
else.
definitely telling
If
us
you
the
don't want to hear
truth.
the truth, go somewhere else.
APOC,
That's the
APOC,
truth.
I'm going to.
It's not about my truth. It's the
If you
truth.
took your 1 foot level and extended it 5 miles, you would find that it was machined so poorly that the curvature of the earth would have nothing to do with how sideways your building was.
Are you're fucking retarded. You don't even hear what you're saying, dude.
Yeah, he's
If
not a machinist. Listen, I can tell already. He only ran parts through a machine. He's never built
Oh,
anything
no,
in
no,
his
no. It's a
life.
hobby. Yeah, I don't do it by trade, but
yeah,
No,
you
Dennis,
you
it's
haven't
a
built shit.
fucking hobby. Guess what, Mr. Trade? I built so many machines. I don't even can't even
what do you mean I
remember
don't
how
build
many different
stuff?
machines I built, and they all
Yeah.
have to be square.
You fucking and I guarantee you, if he did build something, nothing about it had to do with the curvature of the earth
No,
because
that
no one
I
ever
never
has
said it
to.
did.
You never have to build according to the curvature of the earth. Never ever.
I just
In
talked about
in
Can I
the
deal
two
with your
machinist
example now,
levels.
in the
APOC?
That's
two
it.
point in the 2.5 miles bridge that we built, not once was there any curvature of the earth. And once
You don't
again,
have to
that's
because the
because
terrain,
I
the
agree. I
terrain that you
agree.
were
I
building it
agree.
on was the high water mark, way above the curvature of the earth.
There's no curvature of the earth, dude.
Can
There's
I
no.
please
Yeah, you're
We
just
built
saying
it
please
that.
level.
explain, APOC?
Okay,
Are you
You're
look at
ready?
it
just
Can I
once
saying
again.
explain
that.
it to you,
Once
In
again.
please?
fact,
I'm
Once
going to be
again.
polite now.
Once again.
even you have started saying
Let's try
that
and
Once
keep it
again.
level
mod. You need
means
to
a
moderate the
consistent
conversation.
elevation. That is the geodetic leveling that we
Once
were
again.
giving you as the
Once
true
again.
definition from the beginning.
That's fucking bullshit definition. Once again, level of
It's
beams.
your
Once
definition
again.
now. You
Once
started
again.
using it.
Once again. No, dude. Level is level, dude. That's what it is. We know it in construction.
But
It's
level
flat.
is
If
level
it's
now. Okay.
okay, look at
Yes,
look at level. When
that
you
is
take
true.
beams, okay, for the tram, okay, and you line them up together, you kiss them in together, and you butt them together. You're making sure it's all level, and what that means is there's no change in elevation. Now, the reason why I use
Correct. We agree on that.
the reason why I use toothpicks on the top of a level, because if you think about a toothpick, you're not bending them. You can't bend the tips to make an arch. Okay, you're just if you were to put one toothpick next to the next, and next, all the way down, there's no curving about it. It's a straight line. You level is making something straight. Okay, so if I wanted to make
No.
a foundation for a,
You just said the right thing and said a
if,
contradiction afterwards.
if I wanted to make oh my god, because you guys have a bullshit fucking idea that you have to go to the curvature of the earth. The earth isn't curving, first of all. It's not fucking curving. We
Okay,
never
can
fucking
I
have to deal with it.
please just like try to deal with this 2.5 mile bridge thing? Great. So the 2.5
No
mile bridge
more.
example that you brought up, APOC, all you said was that it was equal elevation. You never said that it was like flat. So it can be equal elevation by just
Iron, no,
conforming to the curvature of the Earth, because
The
the
Stop.
iron doesn't curve.
equidistant point between the
The
center
iron
of the
doesn't curve.
Earth and every
No,
I'm
the
going to
iron
correct
doesn't curve.
this. I'm going to correct this for him because I think, might be
He's-
retarded.
He is retarded, that's for sure.
Okay, so yeah, so he's taking that elevation off of the baseline they developed when they laid their first column. By the way, guys, he didn't mention that. Everything is taken off that very first pin that they put in place, and they say, this is now your zero. You guys are going to shoot from now on till the end of the bridge.
Exactly.
You explain how that curves.
And by the way, iron doesn't it's not bending around a curve. Iron is fucking straight.
You have to bend iron. You have to heat treat one side of it to get it to you get it to bow, and you do
Right.
that for stress relief when you have to put heavy weight on that beam.
The problem is that these guys they're fanatics and they firm believers in the lies, and they can't, when you explain reality to them, like such as like when we build shit and how we never account for the curvature, they can't accept that. They have
think
to
the
have
okay.
their
problem-
lies.
So you asked a couple of questions, or you said a couple of things there, Dr. Ben, that was wrong. So if you have a large bit of steel, that steel will sag at the ends. It's just a fact. Everyone knows this. If you were to like put a piece of steel on a post, it would sag at either end. Do you understand that to be true or false?
That weight on it to make that beam flat when you add all the weight to it. That's why you heat treat one side. I know. I've seen beams being made for me and why they had to put that in it.
Okay, so if I was to give you technical manuals that showed that you were incorrect, would you believe them? Because the beams are the weight on either end. That's what causes the beam.
That is hold on, wait, hold on. That's fucking retarded. Let me share something with you. Okay, let's say
I'll just find that the manuals that show you that these things bend.
Get the fuck out of here, dude. When you have a lot of weight on, let's say you're gonna do like a canopy, let's say a little canopy, okay, and you have this this piece of iron sticking out, let's say 12 feet away from the column, okay, and you created this canopy, this overhang or whatever you want. I don't know how you know it. I can't use the technical words because I don't know if you know those or not. But let's say you have that. Imagine a 10-foot beam reaching out, okay, and it's kind of just now high, it's just floating there over the one column. Now, if you were to build on top of that beam and there's too much weight, it can fail and collapse. So what they do is they usually make it really, really hoggy, like meaning thick, because the thicker the iron, the obviously it won't bend under that type of stress, under that type of weight. So typically that's just what they do. They just thicken the size. Now, when they heat treat them to bend to make them malleable, that's because they want to add camber to it, because they know that even though you're putting a piece between two columns, there still might be a long stretch beneath it to where there's not a column, like let's say in the middle of it, to help support when all that weight gets put in the center of that stretch, and then it could collapse in on itself. But it's all part of the engineering. So what they do is they heat treat it, and then they add a camber, they add a bend to it. But that's because they know that an arc or an arch, it multiplies greatly how much more weight you can add onto that piece of steel, because that's just the science of it. That's just the engineering of it.
None of that has to do with what I said. Dr. Ben, do you understand that a steel beam by itself will sag at the ends? It won't be a lot, but it will happen necessarily due to the weight of the beam.
Not supported, sure.
So that's not something you understand.
If it's not supported, I said sure. Don't tell me what I don't understand.
What do you mean by not supported? If you support it at either end, then the middle will sag.
So people don't die where I work. So don't tell me how things work and don't work.
Well, but it's a fact, isn't it, that if you were to have a steel beam supported on either end, in the middle it would sag. But if you have it supported in the middle, then on either end it would sag. Is that a fact, yes or no, guys? You guys are meant to be engineers, yes or no?
How long's that beam, dogs? How long's that beam?
It doesn't matter. It's a necessary fact that every single thing, nothing can be made rigid enough that there won't be some
Of course, yes.
That's a complete lie.
Now, if I were to take that beam and put it on a 5-mile lathe and spin it, I would have run out, right? So, yes, the middle is your weakest point because it's not supported. Even though steel seems so hard, there's still some flex.
If you,
that's why they could have added camber to it, like you said.
Look at the reason why.
None of that matters. No matter what you do, there is nothing rigid enough to not sag under its own weight to some point.
Dude, if you put a 5-foot beam, okay, on the floor, tell me where's it sagging and why is it sagging? Where you're saying the ends are sagging? How can
it depends on the shape of the floor.
It's on the floor. It
depends on the shape of the floor. If I have some very, very slight deflection, the beam may sag with the floor. But if there's no deflection, if it's perfectly flat, then the beam won't sag because it can't. But if it's supported like the beam on the bridge, then the beams on the bridge that are welded end to end will sag because that's just what beams.
No, they don't. No, they won't sag. No,
they will.
Won't.
It's just a fact,
dude. Dude, I know now. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about again. Because when you're building,
right now, I'm looking at the deflection of steel beams, like Texas A&M, all sorts of things.
When you're putting a beam up and you're connecting it to one side of the column and the other, there's nothing going to sag about it. That's why you put fucking
Yeah, the
bolts
middle
and
of it will
pins.
sag under its own weight. It's just necessarily how these things work.
If it's engineered to where they didn't
Does
account
wire bend?
okay, let me say it again. If the beam was engineered where they had a great distance between two columns and they didn't make
They
the
can't do that.
they
That's why
they
they
did it
have
and they
suspension
didn't make
bridges.
what do you mean they can't what do you mean they can't do that?
Because
You're
it needs
saying
to be
wait
suspended
wait
the whole
wait
way
wait
so that
you
it
wait hold on. You're saying they can't make a beam that's 30 feet long? Are you retarded?
Yeah, they can, but it'll sag. All these beams will sag.
Right.
A
No,
30-foot
Right.
beam will need to be
no,
supported at multiple
no.
points because it will have some deflection. I can
Look
drop a
at
citation for you, APOC.
look. Let
Obviously,
me.
you've just either
Here.
just
Do you know?
never gotten far enough
Hold on.
into the engineering of
Hey
building
dogs.
anything that you've been building.
Hey dogs. Have you ever built or put up a beam that's 30 feet long to see the sagging that you're talking about? Just answer me that. Have you ever seen that before?
Listen, these guys you're talking to have never built a thing
Yeah,
in
I
their
know. I know. So let me answer him though, because let's
How
say,
about
for
you know,
instance,
Dr. Ban? Why you keep
let me.
muting me? APOC.
Hey,
Yes, I
hey,
have put up a 30-foot beam. I've built sheds with a friend who has a winery out in like it's a small country town. He's got a large
okay.
shed he built. He put up large beams for that shed. I helped. I didn't see the deflection, but
Nice.
the deflection
Right.
is there. That's why you had to have a structural engineer come out and check that the deflection wasn't so great on the beams as to cause the structure to be
Really?
Okay.
out of
So
whack
you needed a
and
structural
unsafe.
engineer, so that would be your guy. Like, I don't think any of us claim to be structural engineers, checking the sag, but in fact, there is some sag, and that would be the guy to answer that question.
Okay.
Now,
So
So,
we
Dr.
can
Ben, why do
now
you keep
we,
keep muting me, and why
okay.
won't you just like admit that beams sag? And APOC, why won't you just
is this
admit
guy
that
just
beams sag
randomly
under their own
muting
weight?
you, dude, instead of having
Okay.
a conversation?
Yeah,
I'm out
Dr.
of here,
Ben's a
dude.
coward like all
That's
flat
just
earthers. He's never
Losersville,
going to
dude.
actually
Yeah,
explore.
yeah, that's taking the L. You see.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
all
so
APOC
how
does
big
is
was that
ramble and
beam?
ramble and ramble without
So
letting
how big?
people finish. And
So
then all
how big
Dr.
was that
Ban
beam?
does is mute people so he can
Hey
aggressively say,
dogs.
no,
Hey
you're
dogs.
incorrect
Yeah.
because
And
you've
all
never
you do
built
is
anything in your life
okay.
Well,
because it's
Dogs,
That's why you get
I
muted.
just want to
That's why
say,
you get
Dogs, it
muted.
was an
That's why you
interesting
get muted.
conversation between you and me. I don't know what this other guy was doing, but I got to run.
Yeah,
So
I know.
take care.
Yeah.
All right, have a good night.
Dogs, all you do is just continue to ramble your bullshit. That's all you do.
Yeah, and you're lying
look at
about beams not
dude,
deflecting. It's a
dude,
well-known
dude,
fact in structural engineering, beams
dude,
deflect. Why are you lying
dude.
about it?
Let
Why are you
me
lying about
explain.
it?
Let me
Why
explain
are you
something to
lying
you.
about
Okay.
it?
Let me
It's as
explain
simple as
something to
that.
you,
Why are you
dogs.
lying about it?
Dogs, let me explain. This is why you're banned from my server, because you're a piece of shit liar, dude. That's why you're banned, because you're a piece of shit liar. And you do that all the time. You come in and you fucking just your bullshit lies, dude. I'm telling you the truth. A 30-foot beam. I'm talking about beams that they're so big, dude. The flange of it, you can stand inside of it. It's 6 feet fucking big of a fucking beam, dude. And the thickness, they're 4-inch fucking thick beams, dude. And the reason why they're made that hoggy is so that way you don't have to worry about it bending in on itself. They're making it sturdy enough because the thicker you go, the more sturdy you can be. So, like, if you had a 30-foot fucking distance of iron, but it's, let's say, like only 5/8 inch, then yeah, the middle's gonna fucking bend in on itself because the weight, it's not being supported.
Let me give you an
So
example. I have
go ahead.
my addition is 28 feet across. I wanted it to go a certain way, and the guy said, "Listen, we're going to have to put a beam in there." So I did some calculations. I said, "Yep, go ahead and get a 28-foot beam and put it in place. We'll pay for it." Because I didn't want to go the beam route at first, but then when I realized how much weight we were actually going to put on the floor, the beam was better because otherwise I would have had a sagging, creaking floor. I don't have a sound with that solid beam underneath this floor I'm on right now.
Right.
Yeah, so none of that deals with the fact that every engineering manual that I can find in my 2 minutes of research and everything that I know about everything to do with building says that any large beam will sag at the ends if supported in the middle, or in the middle if supported at the ends. Why are you guys just saying that's not a truth?
No. What you're missing though is that there's a reason why they are engineered to not sag in the middle, because you don't want to compromise the building or it's a structural integrity. But see,
How much do you think I think that they sag?
I don't have a
So-
support post within my 28-foot span. I just got a thick enough beam. It holds everything nice and flat.
Right.
How much do you think that I think those things will sag? Can you answer that, please?
I don't know.
Okay, great. It's only a very small amount. but it is still a necessary fact
Okay.
of physics that this will happen.
Okay.
Can you
Okay.
just agree that this is a fact, and we can
Okay.
move on to the
Okay.
next point?
Okay. So I want to make sure that you're trying to misrepresent reality by you're pointing something out that does happen, but you're trying to like you're misconstruing, like you're making it to be, oh, because it sags, it's because it's a curved Earth. Like because because when I
No,
told you that,
that's not what I'm
because when
saying. I'm saying that the bridge that you built
when
may
I
have had
said
enough bend in
no,
the
no,
beams to
no,
allow
dude.
it to go over the curvature of the
Do
Earth.
do you know
How
how
do
much?
you shoot the curve off that zero baseline all the way across for 2.5 miles?
This
Answer
is
that
Yeah, I
now.
can explain that. Yeah, okay, I'll explain that to you right now. So what happens is they take the level off that 0 point, and then at the next point when they take the level, that level will be at a different level because the
Wrong,
plumb lines diverge. So it'll be a completely
wrong,
different tangent to the
wrong.
first one.
oh
But
my
the
god,
deflection will
dude.
only be very,
Transfer,
very, very
they
small. So if you build
transfer that
something with similar
baseline.
elevation
I'm
using
gonna
all
fucking
different,
mute you, dummy. So
Yeah,
they transfer that baseline point all the way along, and they just keep shooting from that. That's
it,
how they do it. And that baseline 0 that they start and got to the 0 to the next one when they transferred it is still 0 no matter where you put it. It didn't curve. They're not using plumb lines to create it. They've only got 1 0 to start with. And that's how it works in the modeling world in CAD. You don't have 2 zeros.
So Dr. Mute, you realize that levels work off plumb, right?
oh my god, dude. Are you fucking
You just
kidding me
answer the
right now?
question, dude. Just once in your
No,
fucking
no,
life,
no,
answer the
no,
question.
no, no.
They don't.
Mute,
That's
can
Level
you
works
tell
off
me,
level
do
water.
levels work off a plumb?
No, they work off level water.
And what is that level water indicating?
That the part you're measuring is level.
Yeah, and it does that by the water
Plumb
always
line
being drawn
thinks you're
down towards the
saying
center of the
down.
Earth, and then the
Plumb,
2 points come off that 90
for fuck's
degree
sake.
from the plumb, the downward pull of the Earth. Do you understand that, Dr. Mute?
No, there's no
No, you
pull.
don't understand the basic thing about
Right,
building.
I don't
You, who
understand
was
because
teasing me about building, how
there is no
fundamentally stupid are you not to
there is
understand this basic
no
fact?
hey, Dr.
pull.
Van. Hey, Dr.
What don't
Van.
you get about there's no
Say
pull?
Dr. Van. Hey,
There's
just
no
to let you,
pull. What do you mean? Of course there's pull. Things
just to
fall
let you
down,
know.
there's pull. Things have weight. If you put an accelerometer on a desk, your phone will show that things are accelerating downwards at 9.8 meters per second. There is obviously a pull.
Hey, just real quick though, I want to correct him on something. Once again, he's misunderstanding what's going on here in reality. When you're saying that level is due to plumb, but
Yes.
I know what you're trying to say, but you don't take a plumb bob when you're trying to level something. You take a level
I
to
didn't
try to
say
level
plumb bob.
something. But okay, but what is a plumb if not getting a 90, right? Getting a 90, right?
No, a plumb is
That's correct.
literally
That's what
just a
they're used
straight line
for.
between the center of the Earth, the center
A,
of
pl-
No, it's not.
acceleration,
a
No, it's
plumb
not.
and
is
whatever
a plumb is
is
to get
being
90.
referenced.
See, you don't even fucking know what
No,
you're talking about. You don't even
plumb
know,
isn't
dude,
at
you're
90.
lost.
Horizontal is at 90 to plumb.
A
Plumb is a
plumb,
straight line
a
down towards
plumb,
the
a
center of
plumb.
acceleration, the mass of the Earth.
Listen. A plumb
No, you
is a
listen. Repeat
Oh
back to me
fuck
what I
me,
just
dude.
said so
Oh
I know
my
that
god.
at least once
A
you understood what I said.
a plumb is a line that's a vertical line that's going to create a
Yes.
90 to the horizontal. Okay, that's what a plumb
Yeah,
is. Okay.
exactly.
Okay. So when you
How
take
do
a
you
plumb, oh my god, dude, dude, I banned this guy from my server because he's a piece of shit like this, dude.
Just
He
go
does.
on.
He's
I'll break him from his mute as he needs to answer because he doesn't know how to not talk when you're talking. It's a simple thing.
yeah, I know. It's fucking this guy's
That's like a
retarded.
retard calling the
Yeah,
See?
he's. I'm telling you, he's good for nothing. He's wordless. Like just. I'm telling you, dude.
He
I've
thinks
gotten in
you measure,
arguments with this guy.
he thinks you measure level using a plumb bob. That's why
Yeah,
he's not allowed around me on a construction site because he's gonna get hurt.
exactly. He'd get fired. He'd get two checked. We
He's
call it
gonna
two
get
checked.
hurt. Is what's gonna
Right,
happen.
right. Yeah, because he's fucking retarded. He's
So Dr.
he's
Mute and Apocryphon, can you tell me how to measure horizontal without referencing some plumb? 90 degree
no, you're retarded.
plumb.
You're just
Go ahead.
retarded. You're just
No, go
retarded. You're
ahead,
not even.
APOC. You
You're
seem to
not
think
even.
that's the case. Can you explain it to me?
You're not even worth explaining what we do for a
No,
career
please, just
because
explain
you
this thing that
don't
you
get it.
guys understand so deeply.
You don't get it, bro. You don't get it. You don't get it.
What don't I
You
get? That you need
you
plumb
you
to
you you
reference horizontal too.
you believe that we're on a curved Earth, so you won't ever do good in construction because you never
Apok,
have to
just
use that.
answer the question, mate. Why do you keep dodging? Dr. Mute, can you answer the question? Can you
Changed his
reference
name.
like horizontal without referencing plan?
Oh my god. Hey,
I'm
I'll tell you
waiting.
what.
Just put a
Hey,
level out that's horizontal. Ta-da!
exactly.
Yeah, and the center of that level, the water bubble, or well, it's actually an air bubble in a liquid, that is referencing the downward acceleration on Earth. That's the only reason that
Oh my god, dude,
it
this
sits in
fucking
a
guy.
specific spot, and then you
Hey,
rotate.
let me